I read Such a Fun Age by Kiley Reid in September of 2020. I feel a little bit silly reviewing such a well-read and well-reviewed book, but I read this before the hype, or at least before I knew of the hype. I'm sure the hype had already started, but I'm glad I did because it meant that I could form my own opinions of this book without knowing what a phenomenon it was going to become. Ultimately, I was impressed. This book is readable. It's really readable, but it's not lacking in nuance or depth to analyze if you want to analyze it like that. I feel like you can read this book at the level in which you choose, and that's the sign of a fantastic book. First, there's sort of the basic story level. Emira, a black woman, is ambushed by the security guard in a supermarket, accusing her of stealing the white child that she is the nanny of. It's filmed and the plot ensues from there. Or there's the character study level. All of these characters are fantastically crafted. They sit just on the right side of satire. The child herself was so weird and wonderful. Even Emira's friend group is pretty well developed for secondary characters. Or you can look at this book on the societal level. How do we perceive each other? What are the limitations of that? This is a book obviously about race and privilege, but the book never loses these characters in the broadness of those themes. It never feels swallowed up. It never feels like I'm suddenly reading a Twitter thread. None of these themes are banged over our heads, but they're also not hidden away by any means. This is subtlety without being opaque. The themes are explored through the story, not an essay masquerading as a story, which I think is easily slipped into these days. That was my problem I had with An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I felt like he wanted to say all these things, and instead of just writing an essay, he wrote a story instead, and it felt off for me. This book impressed me because I think it is far harder to write a book that is super approachable in writing, but still gives you so much to chew on. It's like the writing itself felt so light, so breezy, like a meringue, and yet it's actually carrying so much weight. That was unbelievably impressive to me. I'm in awe of how she managed it.